Hey guys! Hello, hello, hello! It is Erin Bird here, and we are in episode number 23, my goodness, of Expand Your Preschool Program in 2019, 30 Tips in 30 Days. And y'all, we are at episode number 23. I can't believe we're already here. If you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, let me know that you're here. I love to know who's here with me as I do these episodes. Even if you come in on the replay, I want to know that as well. And just say, hey, I'm here. I'm coming in on the replay. And that way I can make note that you're here and you are soaking up our time together during this 30 Tips in 30 Days. If you've stumbled upon me or you're new to our group, my name is Erin Bird and I am a dance studio strategist. I work with dance studio owners who are looking to expand their preschool program and launch into the mobile preschool program game, which can be very lucrative. And so I help you launch or grow your mobile program. So today I want to dive right in because I actually had a studio owner reach out to me and ask me, how do you deal with friends that are hitting in class? And so I wanted to talk about that because here's the thing. They're not the first one to ask, right? How do we combat that? How do we go about trying to make sure hands are for helping and not for hurting, right? And the first thing we have to discuss is, number one, the age group. So she was asking me over a really broad span, 12 months, so 1 year old to 4 years old, which is quite a great span of age. And with each age is a different answer, okay? Because a 1 year old hitting is a very developmentally age-appropriate practice for them to do, to show their emotion, to show their frustration, to show their anger. That is actually perfectly acceptable. Although we don't want it to happen in our classes, if you have a 12-month-old or a 1 month-old, or not 1 month-old, excuse me, 1 year old, it's probably a mommy and me situation. If not, you're brave for having a bunch of 1 year olds by yourself. So the 12-month-old who hits, it is really the parent's problem per se to make sure that their child is not hitting or hurting. Now, it goes back to the same thing. As we get older, as these children get older, 2, 3, 4, okay, 2 years old, again, there are some children that is actually how they are able to express themselves. And we remind them, I get down on their level, I am very calm, and I actually hold their hands. And I tell them, our hands are for helping our friends, not for hurting. And so you hurt so-and-so student right now. And so we need to make sure that our hands are helping them. We don't want to hurt them. Okay, and we hold their hand for a minute. Sometimes I rub their hand. Depends on the child, and it depends on why they're acting out, okay? Now, if we have a 4-year-old who keeps hitting, that is a different issue, because by 4 years old, they know that their hands should be for helping, not for hitting. If they are not on the spectrum or not having any other outside thing going on, at 4 years old, they know hands are for helping, not for hitting, okay? And so if they are continuing to hit, then that's another conversation, right? We need to find out why. We need to dig a little deeper, because a lot of times there is something going on within that child's world that they feel out of control. And it might be something going on at home that you don't know about, you know? So we have that conversation like, hey, is there anything that's going on at home? Maybe not with the child necessarily. We might, depends on the situation. But a lot of times, especially if we're in a center where we don't see the parents, you can find out a lot from those teachers, a lot from the director, and say, hey, you know, Tommy's having a problem in class. When he gets frustrated and angry, he reacts by hitting his friends. So let's talk about Tommy. What's going on? And they might say, well, at home, Tommy's parents are going through a divorce right now. And so there's a lot of uncertainty for him, and so he's struggling, right? So a lot of times if we dig into the cause of this child hitting, it makes better sense and we can deal with that a little bit better, right? Now, some of the things that we do is, again, setting those ground rules. So we talked about it in a previous episode, setting the ground rules for your class. So that might be one of the ground rules that you cover every single class at the very beginning. When we're talking about setting crisscross applesauce, our hands are for helping, not hurting, and they go in our lap, right? You can add that easily into your ground rules and reiterate that consistently with them so they know that this is part of the expectation for the class. Another thing that's for the younger friends, that's a really great thing to do, is sometimes I introduce, whether it's a baby doll or we might use stuffed animals, and we're very gentle with them. And we talk about how our hands are gentle hands. And we help babies and we're gentle with them, just like we are with our friends, right? So by using it and giving them something to ground that idea to, a baby, right? Most of them know that we need to be gentle with a baby. So if we reground that concept in their hands, right? If they know, oh, tactically, we have this and we have this baby, we need to be gentle. And if you go back and you remind them of that when you're laying out those ground rules, right? It is ingrained in their memory. Remember, consistency is key. Reminding them, going over and over and over again, right? Until it becomes second nature. Have them repeat what you're telling them, especially by the time they're 2, 3, 4. Now that 12-month-old, 18-month-old situation with a mommy and me, I know as much as it's not one that people want me to say, it's pretty appropriate for them because a lot of them don't have the capacity, the vocabulary yet to express their feelings. And the only way that they know how to express those feelings is by hitting, is by throwing a tantrum, is by screaming. That is how they know to express their feelings to the world. And you have to think about it. When you go back and you look at things from the perspective of, as a baby, their way of communicating with us is crying, right? They cry to tell us so many things. They cry to tell us they're hungry. They need their diaper changed. They are, unhappy. They don't feel good, right? Their only means of communication is through their actions, through crying, through maybe throwing a toy, maybe you have to look at it at developmentally appropriate milestones. And so when you have the 12-month-old in class who is consistently hitting or is hitting, you need to figure out why. It's probably because he or she is frustrated, might be having a hard time in class, might be having a hard time engaging, and if the class is not fast-paced, action-packed, going, you leave room for a child to get bored, frustrated, and get themselves in trouble. Okay, so remember, part of having calm in your classroom is consistently setting the expectations, the rules of the class, and then following through with them. But you have to be mindful of what is developmentally age appropriate for this child. That is the key, right? That's the key. Hey there! Okay, I'm so glad that you got to come to a live one. Woohoo! So, time difference for us, right? So, yes, you have to remember what is developmentally age appropriate for this child. And what is appropriate for a 1-year-old is very different than what is appropriate for a 4-year-old. Okay, so we need to let them know what the expectation of the class is. And the expectation for them is hands are for helping, not for hurting, right? Hands are for helping, not for hurting. And when we lay that expectation consistently with our friends, and we remind them of this over and over and over again, right? They then know that there's an expectation. They know what is expected of them. And that's really part of the battle, is knowing we don't touch our friends. We don't hit our friends. We don't poke our friends in the eye, right? We talk about all those things. And you have to realize, how old is this child and what is our expectation of them? Okay. Obviously, safety is our top concern every single time we step in the classroom, right? We have to make sure we understand that, and that we're always mindful of that. We're watching out for that, and we're laying the expectations down in a very clear, concise way that that age of your class can understand. So, did you guys get anything from that? I hope so. In the comments, let me know if, yes, Erin, I am going to start integrating hands are for helping, not for hurting. Oh, I got some thumbs up. Yay. If you're coming in on the replay, let me know that you came in on the replay. I love to know who's here with me. And, you know, I actually had someone reach out to me and ask me a question that I'm going to be bringing up tomorrow for our tip. And it's a tip that's actually one you might not think about too often. But I'm actually so glad that she reached out to me about it, because it's something that I know all of us, you, me, the guy down the street, it doesn't matter if you're a dance studio owner, a dance teacher, or a barber. It's a tip that we could all use. So tomorrow, I'm super excited to share that with you, and we are going to have a conversation. So come on in tomorrow. Let's talk about it. And I cannot wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, y'all. Tomorrow's Friday. Woohoo! Tomorrow's Friday. So excited. Cannot wait to see you till tomorrow. And have a fantastic Thursday, friends. Bye.